News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
3 Grizzly football players arrested and suspended over the weekend. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Monday, November 2nd, 2015. Right now, the sky's cloudy. We've got 37 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Bulls Eyewear, where they offer some of the lowest prices in town on contact lenses and glasses. See Lynette at Bulls Eyewear, 2910 South Reserve. Our top story this morning, 3 University of Montana football players were arrested early Sunday morning at a residence in the 200 block of Patty Canyon Drive, and they were charged with felony burglary. Linebacker Kendrick Van Akron, who was the leading tackler in the Portland State game on Saturday, offensive lineman John Schmang, and running back Joey Counts were all placed in the Missoula County Jail on $50,000 bond. Athletic Director Ken Haslam said all 3 have been suspended according to the Student-Athlete Code of Conduct.
Certainly got bigger things to, I think, focus their time and energy on than competing for the football team, and so they're going to need to work those things through. And Coach Stitt, myself, and the entire athletic department believe strongly in accountability, and the Student-Athlete Code of Conduct really helps us enforce that.
Haslam said being a student-athlete carries a great amount of responsibility.
Being a student-athlete carries with it a great responsibility. You have the name of a state across your chest. You have the name of a university that you carry with you wherever you go, and with that comes great accountability and great responsibility.
Also arrested were 23-year-old McLean Tomlinson and a 22-year-old woman, Courtney Reap. All will appear in Missoula Justice Court this afternoon. A house fire reported in Tarkio Saturday has taken the life of an unidentified woman who lived in the home. Frenchtown Fire Department spokesman Mel Holtz said the call came at about 11 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Just after 11 o'clock yesterday, we were called to a house fire. Superior and Frenchtown now is called to a house fire in Tarkio, an unincorporated area. They don't have fire protection out there. So we were the closest agencies to respond.
Holtz described what firefighters found when they arrived at the home.
We arrived on scene to a fully engulfed house fire with one owner unaccounted for. Unfortunately, late last night, we found that she did not make it out.
Holtz said the woman's name will be released by the Mineral County Sheriff's Office once her relatives have been notified. He said no other structures or livestock were injured in the fire. The cause of the blaze still under investigation. A 55-year-old Missoula man has been accused of taking money from his elderly neighbor and spending it on gambling and drinking. Jeffrey Dean Poole faces felony charges of exploiting an older person and tampering with a witness. Prosecutors accuse Poole of taking nearly $10,000 from a woman who suffers from dementia over a period of several months while acting as her power of attorney. Poole denied many of the allegations during an interview with investigators, saying any money involved was to pay expenses for maintenance, repairs, and purchases he did for her. Poole has posted a $5,000 bond and remains free. On Friday, Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Pabst drove to the Montana State Prison at Deer Lodge for a parole hearing for Rory J. Castle. Castle was imprisoned in the early 1990s, convicted of a kidnapping and attempted deliberate homicide of his girlfriend. Pabst said the Montana Board of Pardons and Parole denied Castle's request, with a caveat.
We made our arguments and presented the testimony on behalf of the victim and the parole board. There were supporters for him there as well. Parole board ended up denying parole.
Pabst said the board did not go as far as Pabst had requested in Castle's parole.
We asked that they deny parole for 100 years, which is what they had left to work with. They felt obligated to re-examine it in another 3 years, but at least the victim has 3 more years of solace, and we'll be back there again the next time he's up for parole.
The victim is still hiding 23 years later and continues her attempt to remain anonymous. Police are searching for a 25-year-old inmate who walked away from the Helena Pre-Release Center. Authorities say Dakota Michael Bone went missing Friday. The Independent Record newspaper reports that Bone is deemed an escapee and wanted on an arrest warrant. The Montana Department of Corrections says his criminal record includes burglary, criminal endangerment, and criminal possession of dangerous drugs. Stillwater Mining Company officials say the company lost $11.9 billion during the 3-month period that ended September 30th. Company officials said in a statement Friday that platinum and palladium production was higher compared to the same period last year, but the market price continued to drop and sales were down. Stillwater CEO Mick McMullen said the company eliminated some of its outstanding debt and reduced its mining cost to $677 per mined ounce, down from $837 back in 2014. However, metal prices dropped to $693 per mined ounce, down from $842. The company sold 10,800 ounces less than it produced for the period. During the quarter, 159 workers were laid off. A Canadian man has pleaded guilty to charges he had 97 pounds of cocaine in a hidden compartment in his pickup truck while traveling through northwestern Montana. Jeff Smith of Cur AM Radio in Polson reports 23-year-old Miguel Miranda of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, made a deal with prosecutors to plead guilty to criminal possession with intent to distribute. He appeared in court last week in Polson. The plea deal includes a joint recommendation of a 3-year prison sentence. Our court records say a Montana highway patrolman who stopped Miranda on U.S. Highway 93 near St. Ignatius June 4th found the cocaine. Prosecutors estimated its value at $1.4 million. District Judge Kim Christopher set a sentencing hearing for December 17th. This week, Missoula's annual Bike Light Initiative campaign begins again. Missoula Bike Pedestrian Program Manager Ben Weiss explains how it will work.
What we do is we outfit the traffic patrol officers. We give 150 light set to the officers that they can hand out and solve the problem directly when they see cyclists riding unlit. And those lights can be handed out with or without a ticket.
Weiss says all the 150 bike lights will be given away to bicyclists who are pulled over for breaking the law. He says in past years they've been given away very fast.
Some officers really make this a focus in the next couple weeks. Others just kind of keep them on hand, and if it's something they see, they can do with them what they will. I'd say typically the light sets are usually distributed by January.
According to Weiss, the two most ticketed offenses are not having lights on at night and riding against the lane of traffic. Although it's rare, he says some bicyclists have been pulled over for speeding on Garrett Street and on Duncan Drive. Those steep downhill racing things, I guess. Just can't resist. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies today with only an isolated shower. Temperatures will top out in the upper 40s. A chance of rain tonight with a rain-snow mix possible briefly Tuesday morning. Highs Tuesday will top out in the low 40s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.